Hey everybody, my next guest is a hilarious comedian actor whose latest short film, A Turtle in Times Square, has been making waves within the film festival circuit, and he's killing it on Instagram with nearly 200,000 followers. Here he is, folks, the one and only Dominic Leonelli. Dom, what's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me on.
Dude, it's awesome to have you on, man. You've been like all up in my algorithm and Instagram for like, I don't know, a year or so. I've just been, you're always popping up with these funny sketches that you've been doing. Um, a lot of stuff all in Manhattan. Take me through this Instagram stuff and how it's just popped and become a phenomenon for you.
Well, it was actually way back. It was originally, I just wasn't getting views, but I actually started with YouTube way back in the day when you couldn't really even get views. And this was before shorts and reels. And then, just Instagram regular, even before reels. And then I think when reels came out and that's when it started working out finally for me. Like the platform, I felt like got to a point where it was sending videos to people that might like it. And so, yeah, for probably the 4 or 5 years, I really started taking TikTok and Instagram serious right like 2021, maybe, or yeah, right around there. Because in like 2018, 2019, I was trying but not getting any traction, like 100 views a video, and just kept grinding at it. I remember I had a viral video. I finally had one pop like in 2021, and that's what had me hooked. And it was crazy. It was like the gold chain video where somebody snatches my gold chain, and cars were stopping in the street to take a picture with me because it got like across all the platforms like 6 or 7 million views in like 2 or 3 days.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I'll definitely show that one on here as well, because that's the one that kind of kicked it off.
Hey,
what's up?
I take off that gold chain. You're gonna get robbed.
Yo, good looking out, mom. you know,
White boy?
I'm calling the police. You don't do that to people. Yeah, that one and the concussion joke in the subway kicked it off where I'm like, I met a girl with a pretty accent, we were chatting it up. I was just chatting it up with this girl, pretty accent. And I was like, I gotta ask, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I gotta know, you sound beautiful. What's that from? And she was like, a concussion. I smacked my head on the cement. And so those two kind of back to back. It's funny. It actually scared me a little bit because then I was on a roll and I was getting like a couple of death threats in my inboxes. And I lived on McDougal Street, right across the street from the cellar once. And this guy's like, if I see you across the street from the cellar, I'm gonna shoot you in the head. Like he knew where I lived. So I
Holy
went and got a cop, and the cop's like, comedians go through threats like that all the time. He's like, there's nothing that we could do.
damn. So that's crazy. So you're getting back in the beginning of this whole thing, you're already getting death threats. You're living right across the street from probably the biggest comedy club in the, in America, so to speak. It's a groundbreaking club for so many great comics. So when you get the death threat, man, and the cop just says, takes it lightly, what do you think? Are you looking over your shoulder all the time, or
Dude,
what's?
I called my girlfriend because I was on my way back from a road gig. So I was like on a Greyhound in like Newark or something. And I told her, just to like, hey, be careful. I don't know if somebody's going to inbox you. And she goes, you're cheating on me. That's somebody's boyfriend. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, this is like over a video. Like, she couldn't get it. But,
Isn't that crazy
nothing.
that you're scared for your life, and the first thing she thinks of is that it's your fault?
Right. Nothing came from that. The craziest thing I'd had happen was recently. It was probably right before summer, right when the weather was breaking. I got off a cruise ship and I was late at night and I just wanted to walk around the city. So I'm walking all over Times Square and Hell's Kitchen area, and I noticed this guy like and would stop and take a picture with some fans. And I noticed this guy that didn't fit in the group, like his collar's all stretched out. Something seemed off, like all these finance guys and him. And then, about an hour later, I see him again, like right next to me. And I'm like, all right, that's just weird. New York's just a weird spot. I go to a bar, have a couple drinks. I'm probably in there for about 2 hours. I come out, I go to a deli, get a sandwich, and I done walked across town all the way to 6th Ave from 9th Ave at this point. He's right behind me. So now I know, oh, this dude's been following me for like 3.5, 4 hours now. So I start looping different spots just to see where he'd follow me to. Like I went down to 42nd. I'm like, let me see. So then finally, I wait around the corner and I see him peeking around the corner. I walk right up to him. I go, bro, I said, you've been following me all night. What's going on? He goes, dude, I follow you on Instagram. I just want to see a day in the life and see what you do. But it was just creepy. It's like, man, you don't follow somebody for 4 hours, you know?
That's fucking nuts. That's nuts, man. It makes you wonder because you're getting a taste of fame, you're getting a taste of notoriety, right? You got a guy who wants to know the day in the life. It makes you wonder, like, it makes you realize why the Brad Pitts of the world hide and stay put, man, because this is
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, no, like I don't know if I'd even be able to handle that type of fame. Yeah, somebody sent me a video. I pulled my neck out. I got back problems, man, and I walk out of a massage spa. Somebody sends me a video of me walking out of there. They're like, dude, aren't you? I get it on my Instagram. I'm like, bro, there's a video of me walking out of a massage place. He goes, aren't you embarrassed to be caught walking out of there? I'm like, dude, I was embarrassed when I was waiting to go next. I know it sounds like a joke, but the truth is, it was like blew me away. That's like, why would somebody do that? Or like, I got a video sent to me of me at CVS one time, like just looking at stuff at CVS, like peanuts or something.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine the celebrities and stuff.
Yeah, well, you get a taste of it, man. You got tons of followers. All your stuff's getting tons of hits, and what I love too is it's really kind of your videos, whether intentionally or not, they're all kind of a taste of New York because you film them all over the city, and
Yeah,
a lot of the stuff is uh, city stuff, like when you're searching around for Mamadou, the delivery
yeah.
guy, which is great, and a lot of the stuff it looks like he's shooting in Bryant Park and all around the city. Um, just how does the city influence your comedy?
Well, it's convenient for me because I live in the city, so it helps me out. I'm right in the city, so I try to wake up and shoot as much as I could. It's an easy meeting place, and I didn't mean for New York to be the background, but now that I look back at all my videos, I'm so happy that it is. It definitely has a piece of New York in it.
Yeah, when you watch it, wherever you are in the country, you get that taste of New York, man. You can feel the
And
vibes.
that was just by fluke because I'm too cheap to pay for a recording studio. Like I just try to go places that are free.
That's what's cool about it too. Is it's kind of like you're shooting in the elements. Like a lot of times you just walking around in the streets or you're sitting around at like a restaurant or something outside there in Manhattan, and so even if it's not intentional, you're still feeling that New York vibe, and then the humor kind of has like that like when you're the waiter and you go up to the girl and you kind of hey, so what I'm gonna need your phone number and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is like you might not see that in every town and around the people that are watching you, so they're getting a taste of that too, which is pretty cool.
First tree planted in New York?
Yeah, that was by a Dutchman, believe it or not.
This is where all the restaurants are. This is a well-known sushi place.
Mayor Giuliani's Outcast son painted this when he was high on, he was doing the stuff one night.
Oh wow, that's wild. I didn't know he had a son.
Yeah, no, he didn't either.
This was the best date I've ever been on.
I thought you were my tour guide.
Yeah, I'm so lucky I got that to use in the background, and the actors in New York. Like, that's what I love about New York versus LA. It's like try to shoot one sketch in LA, it's just seems so difficult. But here in New York, I could literally just go outside and run into a comedian. And that's how small New York is. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if I walked for 2 hours, I'd see somebody I knew like in West Village or, hey, you going to shoot a skit real quick? And you can meet up with 4 or 5 different people and shoot.
So if you're walking around the city and you bump into a comic, um, you just say, "Hey, you want to shoot a sketch?" and then you
Well,
just come up
that's
with
how
it
it
right then.
started. Yeah,
Yeah,
it started like that because I lived across the street from the cellar. So
yeah.
there was like always a comic outside. You got the Grizzly Pear, Greenwich Village. You got comedians just hanging. You got around the corner, there's the comedy shop. So yeah, there was always just comedians out. So I'd say, hey, I got this idea real quick. Let's shoot it. Boom, boom, boom. And that's how it kind of started. And I used to hire people. This is like the cell phone cameras weren't that great. And I thought it needed to be a great production and the sound needed to be perfect. So my first sketches, I used to hire and pay people between $300 and $500. So I'd have camera people and actors and food. I'd go through damn near $1,000 for one skit.
Am I in trouble?
No, of course not. I'm just going door to door. You may have heard this on the news. We're doing outreach. We're trying to educate Americans on the importance of getting vaccinated. This Delta 19 variant's really something else. Now listen, have you been vaccinated?
Not yet. Have you been vaccinated?
What's the matter with you? The fuck's that got to do with anything?
Right. And now you just go outside,
Yeah, go
find some
outside,
people, shoot
shoot.
it on the phone, and
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of dating stuff. I'm working with the director from Paramount, and he's been getting me actors. Like I got I've been getting so I'll buy the food or something if we're at a restaurant, but that's at most, You're only gonna spend like $200, and that's just for the talent.
yeah, man, you freaking rocketed it, dude. And a lot of the ideas that you have for these sketches are they coming off the top of the head, like when you're out and about and you're like, it'd be cool, man. I got this machete. Why don't we do this thing where I'm your best friend, and or is it written out and they're like, hey, and you pitch it to the person? Or is
Yeah,
it a
they
little,
come from real life, and I don't write them out, even though I'm gonna start to now because now I'm trying to pack in as many punchlines as I could. But you know this, even like a lot of times I'm working with comedians could act, but it's different than delivering lines, Like an actor could probably deliver the lines and study them. I'm not paying anybody, and I think it comes off rehearsed. So I try to meet up with the person or get to know their strong suit for the idea. Like if I have an idea, I want to try to have the right actor to do it. So I really haven't been writing them out, but I'm going to start. But most of it comes from real life, a lot of the good ones. Like
yeah.
the one with the restaurant scene. When I'm sitting there, I'm on a date, and this guy walks up out of nowhere, and he's just like, "Are you guys ready to order?" And we're like, "Do you work here?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, no, I was just down the block." And then I was like, "Oh, I got to do this. Like, this is gonna be funny." My name's Dom. I'm gonna take care of you for the rest of your life. Real quick, to place your order, I'm gonna need your phone number.
Right. Yeah, so they pop out of real life. Yeah, so that yeah.
Yeah, or like people watching. Sometimes I'll see something, I'll be on a cruise ship or I'll be in Times Square and like, I have an idea for like the guy that was raised by his Wisconsin aunt, It's just like because you see these things in real life, it just stands out, oh, that's a gem of an idea.
That's awesome, man. Hey, everybody, this episode is brought to you by Trendjackers. Trendjackers is where you can get streetwear for the bold.
America's turning 250, and it's time to rock out with our forefathers. American-made, battle-ready style for true patriots. Whether you're marching in the parade, grilling in the backyard, or raising a toast to liberty, do it in the gear that screams freedom. Celebrate 250 years of USA in style. Wear your American pride loud. Trendjackers.etsy.com. Grab yours before the fireworks.
Go to trendsjackers.etsy.com. That's TRENDZJACKERS.etsy.com. Go to the store, get your gear today. Yeah, that's super cool, and and like you said, now you're getting a lot of attention. A lot of it probably wanted attention. You're getting the stalkers and stuff too that come along with it. But when you're getting the guys from Paramount all of a sudden watching you. Are you starting to get a buzz? You feel like, this is going to
Yeah.
parlay into bigger things?
Yeah, definitely. It already is because I'm starting to work with more actors that are on shows coming up, and like I have a few skits coming out that are some actors with some real professional actors now, and the fact he's directing the skits, it helps out so much. It's hard to do it all on your own. It's me showing up with a cell phone, but I could see it moving along to having a camera crew, so we don't need to worry about hitting record or a take being missed, and definitely adding to it with the actors, getting the better cameras, and just having a team of people. We're even now looking for writers because it's like we need these ideas to keep coming.
Yeah, man. And you also have a aside from the writing and all that stuff, your acting skills, just your demeanor, your look, your vibe, all also has characteristics in it that are unlike other people. You know what I'm saying? It makes you an original, and that's an important quality to have. And I think that's something that these casting agents and people are looking for also.
Yeah, it took me forever to be myself. My very first movie was called Smoked Salmon. This guy wrote it, put all this work in it, man. All this effort. It never came out because of how bad my acting was. But now I made like 3,000 things. Like, so now it's like I've been in front of a camera for 5 hours a day. So I put on the camera, I'm just myself. It took me forever to just like be natural and just on camera speak how I would normally speak. Like, I couldn't get a normal line in before. Like, I'm like, hey, listen, we need the blueberries. I would say it's so weird.
Right. Yeah.
I just could not act, man.
It's hard. It's harder than people might think if they're not doing it, to find your own voice, especially when you are acting and you're trying to play a character, but you also don't want to look like you're acting. So like even something like on the phone, hey, where are the blueberries? There's so
Yeah.
many different ways to say it, but the director or the casting agent brought you on because they saw you like something in you, and they want that. So it's just such a weird fine line of how to deliver things.
Yeah, 100%. I actually have a thing I need to break down now. I just got sent a script. The guy that wrote Precious reached out to me, but it's like 20 lines long. I'm like, how am I gonna even make this interesting? Like, I'm thinking, should I cook something or eat? Give the guy something different to look at.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Move
Maybe go
around.
to a diner.
Yeah, there you go. What else I like about what you're doing with the Instagram stuff, being, Italian guy, Dominic Leonelli, you got the Italian name and all that, but you're not kind of jumping on that Italian bandwagon, so to speak. And I got nothing but love for all my Italian friends out there that are doing it, but it's good to see that when people are finding their own voice in their own way.
Yeah, and truthfully, I didn't grow up the way these Italians did. I mean, I grew up Italian in Ohio, and my family is very much Italian, but I just didn't really ever lean into that so much growing up. Like, there's not really a lot of Italian culture where there was, but yeah, I guess I just didn't really lean into it. When I see these Italians, that's their real life. And this is what people want from them. So when I collab with these guys on videos, I realize it doesn't really grow my fan base because I'm not what they want. It's like you almost need what certain people are into.
Yeah, because being in New York, my whole life, even out here on Long Island, there's like this. I always call it Brooklyn Italians, but
Yeah.
it could be all the boroughs, it could be Long Island, but it's a certain New York style Italian guy that's like, or like Jersey or something like that. And that's what people kind of think of a lot of times when they think of Italian American as, hey, what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
Hey, but that's not always the case.
This is my girlfriend. How you guys doing?
Are you Italian?
Yeah, the Far East.
Che cazzo, the East.
A Borsa Italiana. What East? Milano?
Farther east?
Tsunami, come sit down.
Oh, leave her alone. Today she's Italian. Come over here.
Oh, thanks.
Over here, over here. So I hear you dating my nephew, Dominic? You're gonna need this. What?
Oh, thanks.
I'm just happy that my brother's moving out of the basement. Come on, welcome to the family.
Thanks.
Do you know Mark Riccadonna?
Yeah, I know him really well.
I love Mark Riccadonna, man. Good friend. He's
Yeah.
also an Ohio Italian guy.
Yeah, I think the same town, Youngstown.
Oh,
Or
is he a
Cleveland,
Youngstown
right?
guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to
There's
Mark.
Mike Vecchione. Mike Vecchione's from Youngstown too.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't know that either.
that Italian guy. When I first started working with those Italian influencers, I thought I seen them all blowing up quick, boom, 300,000, 500, and that's a market. It's a niche market. People do love that. And when I did the things with them, I did Growing Up Italian, which is a huge podcast, but it wasn't like when I was doing it, I realized I don't really know anything about being Italian. They're speaking to me in Italian, asking me what my favorite pasta is. I'm like, bro,
Yeah. But Youngstown's cool. I think Tony Hinchcliffe is
yeah, dude, same exact neighborhood. Now, I've never met him, but literally, like, I think grew up probably 5 minute drive from my house. He's a
Wow.
year older than me, yeah, but I think he left as soon as he turned 18. I didn't really start hanging out with people till I was like 16, 17. So, I was kind of kept to myself. I used to box. I was always in the gym.
Right.
So
Yeah.
maybe even 18. I didn't have a life. So I don't know, but I never got to run into him back in the day.
Did you do comedy when you were in Ohio? Or was that something you started up in Manhattan?
No, I did it in Ohio and there was really no comedy at all. So, you know, I would go to, like, I don't know, we would try karaoke's at this place called Irish Bob's, or I do back porches in my friends' houses. And then I called a comedy club one time and the guy's like, you got to be famous to be a comedian. So I kind of let it go. But then, just kept kind of hacking at it. And I eventually found two or three other people that wanted to do stand up too. And they drive from maybe Cleveland, or I drive to Cleveland, or we'd go Pittsburgh, Youngstown, Akron. And we'd even go down to the colleges and just go right into the bars and just start putting on shows. Like, if we seen they had a sound system, we'd be like, hey, can we come by in a couple of nights, do a little comedy show on a Wednesday? And we started putting it together. And before you know it, we're getting stage time at little pizza places. I mean, brutal shows. I remember I did this pizza place. There was like three people in the audience. And here's the funny thing, the people I was working with back in Youngstown back then, they were like trying to gatekeep the comedy. So they
Gee.
finally got a good room going and they wouldn't book me at it. And I'm like, all right, what do I got to do? So I'm so slick. I go to the place and start working there. I hear them. I used to get pizza at the place.
Right.
And I hear them say, we need a worker. We need a worker. We can't keep nobody. I was like, I'll work here, but I have to do every single comedy show. So in between me delivering pizzas, washing dishes, making pizzas, I'd run out and do the comedy show. I'd deliver all the food out as a waiter, and I'd run out and do a set with my dish. I'd still have my dish rag on, like from washing dishes.
That's freaking awesome, man. See, that's the way I think that's what makes a great stand-up comic, man, is you put the freaking work in every which way but loose to get that stage time
Yeah.
and because you want it.
It took me forever to realize the value of stage time, though. That's something I wish if I could tell anybody, I would tell them just get through that initial year or two and do a ton of stage time and nothing else. Because I kept thinking, like, I had like imposter syndrome. I'm like, if I don't attempt it, then I cannot fail. I could just daydream about how good I'm going to be one day. And I kind of was like off and on comedy for 5 years. I wasn't really in it. My first 5 years in New York, I couldn't get up anywhere. I mean, it was so difficult. Even this is before the pandemic. Me and a few comics would go to Washington Square Park and Times Square before the pandemic just because that stage time was so hard to get. But then I realized I just didn't have the fight for it. You got to have that drive. Like, okay, you won't book me? I'll try this room. This room won't book me? I'll try this room. Hey, man, will you book me? Let me get 5 minutes. That's how you kind of got to be. I was scared that if I did that to anybody, I'd be blackballed in comedy. Nobody'd ever book me, and nobody's thinking about anything.
Right, right.
Then once I really learned, a club started booking me so much. I was wearing the paint off the stage. I was there every night, every show, 7 days a week, 7 shows a night, right in Times Square. It was called LOL Comedy Club. And I was there for about 3 years straight doing that. And I realized that's all I needed.
Everybody call me Bluetooth. Let me tell you something. No girl is kissing Bluetooth. My mother wouldn't kiss me goodnight. She was like, well, you can stay up.
To actually just be up on stage in front of an audience and just find your voice
And literally wearing the paint off the stage. You need that much stage time, I feel like. Like, I was clocking in 100 shows a month. Some of them were 40 minutes long, 20, 40 minutes long, an hour long. So when you think about over the course of the month, you did that 100 times. You do that for 36 months. I mean, you're getting some crazy reps in. It's 1,000 shows a year over that. So I had a
yeah,
joke I used to do. I'd kick the stage, and just within like 2 months, I wore the paint off the stage. Like
like
you'd see, they'd be
literally.
painting the stage. We did so much stand up. I have to
Damn,
paint the
dude.
stage all the time.
When you do like that, when you get that many reps in, I think it starts like for any comics that are starting out that might get stage fright or they get the nervous in front of being in front of an audience. That takes it away completely, I would think. I don't think, do you ever like, do you still get any jitters before you go up, or being doing so many
When you're
shows?
doing it that much, you just focused on exactly what you're gonna say. You're too busy because you could hone it in. Like when you're getting that much stage time, especially when it's your back's against the wall. That's what I liked about this club. And I mean that as a metaphor, not like you're standing against a wall. I mean like, listen, you're in front of 200 people, all these other comedians killed. They just got their bill. Notice that they got ripped off. You have to destroy. And they left you on stage. You're supposed to do 8 minutes, and they left you up there for an hour and 20 minutes. Now
Right.
you have to, you're going to become funny regardless. And then the second you're getting off that stage, they go, run, hurry, go in the other room. They're waiting for you. And you run off stage, and then there's a new audience right there. And now you're about to do another 30 minutes, and then you're like, okay, I knew that joke worked. Oh, and then I had that bit about this guy from the last show. All right, I'm up next. I'm coming right now. And then you go, hey, man, look at this guy. And then you hit him with this 10-minute bit. They're like, damn, how'd you just think of that? It's because you just did 7 shows that night. So you got every line worked out of every bit. Like I feel like maybe the 7 o'clock show, you're a little rusty. The 8 o'clock, it starts coming together. And then you got the 9, 10, 11, and you're just going up and it's boom, 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 because you're so honed in.
And the teacher was real supportive too. He's like, now all you gotta do, you just gotta match up the sides. And I'm like, please don't make me laugh in this man's face. Why is he talking to me like this right now? He's like, it's real simple. He said, it's easy. I'll never forget, he kept saying, it's easy.
Now, right now, the situation I'm in, I'm doing so much acting. I'm not really, comedy's something you got to do so much of it, to stay sharp. You really have to just, and then you'll have it all right there.
Dude, that's what happened to me a long, long time ago. I was hungry and eager to do it. I was doing stand up as much as I could out here on Long Island. It's a little different, not as many stages, especially back then. And then had a couple bad nights, but I was going up literally once a week.
Yeah,
So it
it's
was
so
like
hard to do that.
10 minutes sets once a week.
Now, see, now there's people that are really good at doing their homework in school, and those types of individuals, they get their task done. And now I'm learning that now because my stage time, I'm taking more opportunities with it. Though, if you could have the discipline to really listen and know what joke and exactly what you're gonna say and just be down to business, you could still grow that way. But I'm the type of individual, I have to get up so much that it's sickening. Like to where you get microphone hand. You ever have that to where you gotta rub your damn
Yeah.
hand from holding the mic?
Hey Doc, I got microphone hands. I got
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I get microphone hands so much. I do comedy on cruise ships now, so now that's another way your back's against the wall. You're doing 7 shows. Now I'm doing it in front of 1,000 people, and they're a half hour long. So I got to be funny for 3.5 hours on a ship full of drunk people, and they're all judgmental. They're all review based group.
and you see them, you're stuck on a boat with them.
Oh, dude, they're fun. They feel like they own you too. I had an old lady. She's like, "Oh, your teeth are so nice." She's putting her hands in my mouth.
When you're on a ship and you're doing the cruise and you say you got all these what is it, 3 shows a night or something on the boat on the ship?
Yeah, it all depends. You most of the time it's an average of 1 to 2, and you might do 3. So anywhere in that window, 1 to 3 shows, half hour each.
And you're doing different
Usually,
halves, different ones.
yeah, you have to because they come back for every show. I mean, they tell you, oh, you could repeat, but you really can't because the people that come to comedy come to every show.
Right, yeah, yeah. Yeah, comedy fans are loyal, man, and they love to watch it. And what kind of cruises have you been on? Have you been seeing like a lot of the Caribbean and stuff like
Yeah, I've been to Dominican Republic 170 times. About, pretty much over that now. I don't need no more bracelets. I try to see, because those are the easy ones. Like I did travel, I did a lot of Europe and it was fun, or but I just don't want these long flights and immigration. I'd like to just fly down to Tampa, hop on a ship to the Bahamas real quick, be back in 3 days. Cause I really can't stomach these damn ships. It's like you're just trapped in it's like prison, I feel like.
I always feel mixed. I get mixed reviews from comics who do the ship, that whole thing. Some love it. Others say they feel trapped on it, like you did. Like do you know Greg Vaccarello by any chance?
No, I haven't worked with him yet.
He's a Long Island guy, but he's basically based out of Vegas now. His whole thing is on ships, man. He's just hops from one to the next. He's been Alaska line, all the Caribbeans, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He loves it. That guy loves it. But
Yeah,
I
some
think
people love it.
yeah, you got to be built different, I think, for that.
Yeah, it all depends what you want. See, I want to play for my fans. I don't want to, my whole life I've had to craft this crowd pleasing crowd. If like, it's like the difference between real comedy and fast food comedy in a way. Like when you get these tourist groups like in Times Square or cruise ships or at the comedy zones or the casinos, to me, it's not really, I can't be 100% true to myself. You're going to ruffle some feathers, and they're paying you. And also, I don't want to ruin anybody's night. If somebody came out to laugh, I'm going to do the job of tap dancing to make this person laugh. But I like to be myself. And you really only get that with your own fans. And it's just, you'll never have that on a cruise ship. So, I get why people would love it. It's easy. It's easy to get, hey, I made it. I'm making a lot of money. Some of these people, that's why I don't go after the other lines because they pay so much. I'm afraid that then I would be hooked. Like, I'm at
Right,
least
yeah.
on Carnival. It's like I could hop on for 3 days. The money's okay. It's not too much. But I talked to one guy. He was telling me in a week, I think, he said he made 12 grand. If I was making money like that,
Yeah.
you'd probably never see me again.
It's hard to turn that away. Plus, you're taking care of the whole boat. You don't have to worry about food, where you're gonna live, or any of that kind of stuff. You
Yeah,
just
you
kind
got
of
food, they cover your Ubers, they order your flights. Right now I'm booking my damn flights, trying to find a hotel. I'm learning the hard way. Like certain towns don't have Ubers, and
right, yeah.
just things like that. Nothing's open past 8 o'clock in a lot of towns. And hotels, you got to make sure they're near the venue and the flights. But yeah, it's easy. That ship life is easy, and you have a sold out crowd. You're literally doing, I treat a theater 1,200 people like an open mic, so it's easy to be like, yeah, I made it.
Right, yeah.
But the thing that keeps me humble on the ships is more than often what I get is these cruise ship comics that have been out there for like 10 plus years kind of being bitter and kind of regret. And you could hear it in their voice like, oh man, I got this. One guy told me, I'll never forget, he goes, I got this idea. I should have did it. I'm sick of these damn cruises. He goes, I want to tour. Everybody's getting famous. He goes, I got this spoof music video I had for a little while. I think I'm finally gonna do it. I was like, oh, what's it about? He goes, that Britney Spears, oops, I did it again. And I'm like, bro, like, cuz I don't know how long ago you had that idea, but that's not gonna be the ticket right now.
That's the thing, that I think so many people in general, but a lot of comics, obviously, and other creatives face is the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Did I go left when I should have went right? Yeah,
Yeah.
what direction should I have gone in? And it's tough to call because you don't know the future. You don't know the road ahead. So do you, like you said, do you go where you can make the big money and perform for lots of people, but you're never gonna pop or be yourself or be able to be where you want to maybe see your career going, but you'll be
Yeah.
steady, or so it's like the safe road or the hard road, but the hard road could be more rewarding, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think so. And the safe road's always there. Like you could always get booked on a cruise ship. Like I remember when I first started doing it, comics are like, oh wow, how'd you do that? And it's like, they need cruise ship comics. Like you could always just get on it, but there's a cap. Like as soon as you get hired on a cruise ship, you just hit the cap. You're not gonna make any more money than that.
Right,
Maybe
right.
every year you'll get like a $7 raise, but it's like, what's that? To where with the shows selling tickets. And also, like, I would have never guessed where social media would have took me. Like, even just 2 years ago, I was trying so hard to act still. Like, I was trying to get auditions. Now I only audition for my friends. So, like, I have one thing that I have to audition for. It's actually the guy that wrote Precious, so I'm real excited about that. But
Oh wow.
that's like a big deal. But even that, I just don't put much effort in it because it's like, what acting gig is possibly going to pay me more than social media? Like, it's very rare an acting gig. Like, I just made 4 grand on a video that is a minute long. It
Right.
took me
Yeah.
an hour to make. So I'm like, well, I just had fun for an hour with a hot girl and made 4 grand a block away from my house. So I'm like, there's no act. I didn't audition. I didn't tell them my dress coat size. I'm just like all the bullshit going to the Bronx at
Right.
5 in the morning for like, it's like I never would have thought this, but I kind of see myself just acting in my own shit, my friend shit.
Yeah, dude. When you're doing it DIY and you're making that kind of money, and you said you basically made 4 grand for hours work, and it's still probably, if it continues to go viral, it's just money
Yeah, it
coming
got me
in.
like 14 million views. So it's like that. If I acted on a show, they would never get that many views.
Yeah.
Even like when you look at like, I don't know. I mean, some of these shows, I don't think they're getting that many views. Like on these networks, like streaming on Netflix or a series, 14 million is a crazy number.
Yeah, dude. That's a lot of people. And like you said, people are following you around, taking pictures of you when you're at massage parlors and all that kind of stuff.
I never thought I looked dumb, but I was thinking about it, and people never ask me questions. One time this guy was like, "Excuse me, help, excuse me," and I turned and he goes, "Oh, never mind." I'm like, "Do you need help, man?" He's like, "Do you need help?"
What would you say to people that are coming up, and they're funny, creative people, and they don't know where to put more emphasis on? Would it be the stand up or the sketches? Or,
Well, here's what I would honestly say. Years ago, I would have said the stand up, and I'll tell you why. Because you don't want to get famous and then let down your audience, right? But now that I've been doing this for a while, I see the difference. See, when you're not famous, you have to fight for every minute of stage time. You might go to a place and wait 3 hours for 3 minutes of stage time in front of 5 people. And then you might, over the course of a week, you might spend 40, 50 hours chasing those little minutes of stage time. But see, now if you were to blow up on social media now you're doing 3 hours of stand up a night. You're getting booked everywhere. So you could just, if you could focus, you could take all that stage time and develop a good set. You have money coming in from social media. You could probably hire some writers. I wrote for a few influencers and I've seen it happen. Over the course of a year, they're doing hundreds of hours of stand up. You could see over 1 week, they'll do 20 shows, like, because they have fans. So when you're
right.
doing that much stand up, you're going to get good.
Because you got the whole package right now. You're kicking ass on the sketches. People know who you are. They're coming out to see you. So you're seeing an influx when you do a show stand up, like
No, I see an influx in the street. Like, the way I get recognized, and I was talking to a few comics about this now. I don't know if I'm giving up secrets to comedians, but that's what we do. We want to help each other out.
yeah,
But
man.
I didn't realize the amount of money certain comics are dropping on advertising themselves, and not necessarily their videos, but their shows. Like I threw $50 on an ad, and I'm not really selling the tickets I want to sell, and maybe I get 18 tickets somewhere. I think in Boston I had 40 tickets. That doesn't add up. For I get recognized 20 times a day everywhere I go.
Right, yeah.
So a comic was telling me he has the same situation. He goes, "Oh yeah, you got to put like between $3,000 and $5,000 down on an ad on your tours and target the ads." That's the whole business part of it that I never did because I need to learn that part. Because I'm telling you, dude, the way I get recognized now, I can't figure it out. But also, you look at my Facebook alone over the course of this year, my average was between 50 and 70 million views a month on Facebook alone.
Wow,
So when
man.
you count Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, I'm getting those numbers. Plus, that's just on my page. So I couldn't imagine all the shares, 100,000 shares, all the other pages it has to be.
Dude, that's so crazy. And what I like too is that you said in the beginning when you first started doing these videos, because you always had this in you to do this stuff, um, that it wasn't being successful, but you kept at it, man. You didn't give up.
Yeah.
And ultimately you struck gold, with those ones that went viral, the gold chain. Um, s- like what does it take to keep going, to persevere through the hard times?
You gotta love it and you gotta not care about the numbers. You actually have to love it. And that just happened to me recently. So people think I was viral before. This shit's about to skyrocket. Cause now I'm actually obsessed with it. Like if you had a video game you couldn't set down before 18 hours, that's what this is now. It's like, oh, I want to conquer this video game. And what I learned works for me to love it is to actually put the effort in. Now every video I'm trying to pack it with punchlines. Like my last viral video, I almost had a punchline every second. So I'm like, that's the key for success. If everything involved could create a punchline, when we're talking the outfits, the clothes involved, the reactions, the background, where we're at, the location, the topic we're on. You put all that in the funny with a really, and honestly, I think you could have so many punchlines every second. That's what I didn't realize. You could open up with a punchline. First second, be funny. Next second, something else funny. So if you put a minute video and you got like 30, 35 punchlines in there, you're probably guaranteed a happy reaction from the internet.
Yeah, that's freaking great advice for anybody watching us, to just make sure you punch it up. Don't leave the
Yes.
punchline for the ending. You could start with
Yeah,
the
some
punch
people
it.
like my
Yeah,
biggest problem was taking too long to get to it. Like in stand up, you have a lot of time because these people are sitting down.
right,
So in stand up, you still have to be quick. But these people are sitting down watching you. You'd have to really be bad for them to get up and leave the person they love, their wife sitting next to them, just to walk away from you, versus how easy it is to scroll. Like you could probably have a laugh every 5 seconds at stand up, and that's killing.
right.
7 seconds, a really good comedian, dude. I just seen Adrian Lapalucci, dude. It was insane, dude. Every
Nice.
second was funny. Like every 4 or 5 words was funny.
We worry about the weirdest things in this country. They were taking down all of the racist statues. I'm like, take them all down. Take down the non-racist statues also. Just to send a message. Let's do this. Take it a step further. Just stop talking about white people in history class altogether. Just totally deplatform us. And then in 50 years, there'll be no proof we did anything bad.
And that's almost, you have to almost be tighter than that for social media. So when you think of how much of a killer she is, now imagine those are tight jokes.
Yeah.
So when you write social media, like people try to do these lines, they'll be like, oh, let me do this line. Hold on a second with my glasses. I'm like, no, you got to be like banana dicks. Like it's got to be
Right.
everything. There's overhand rights. Your reaction, what I'm saying to you.
Right. Yeah, dude. I think that's awesome. And also with your stand up too, it's a lot of storytelling. And that's harder to find the punchlines per minute, so to speak, or per second.
Yeah.
But I think you do land him, especially like you do with one of the stories you're talking about, you were trying to get into a special needs school or
Yeah.
something. Dude,
Yeah.
that story is fucking hilarious, man. Literally had me laughing, like tears, the whole thing. It was so funny. Um, what's the art of that when you're developing a story to keep their attention on stage as a
Yeah,
stand-up?
story is a little bit harder to do than a skit. Like a skit, you could come up with the punchlines easy. I feel like a story, the more you tell it, the better it gets. For me, anyways, and then you just keep telling. See, the cool thing is with a story in stand-up comedy is Like, I don't know how these Mark Normans do it. Like, you have to be so good, I feel like, to do just deliver those jokes that are like bang. With a story, I feel like you got kind of a cheat code because the story's what they're paying attention to, and the jokes is the icing. So you could throw a line out there. Sometimes a line doesn't work for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. I got another line right behind it because I'm just telling a funny story.
Right. Yeah.
You just watch that like, oh, okay, he's an ex-felon. You don't realize that's supposed to be a punchline. I'm not a felon, but it's like, hey, that one didn't work. Okay, I'm not really a felon, guys, but that joke didn't work. I
Right.
wouldn't stop and tell them, but they would think, oh, I'm just watching a story. So when you really get, I like when I'm telling a joke and you're telling somebody a story. You really get them so much into the story they forget they're watching comedy. Then they're
Right. Yeah.
really not going to see the punchline coming.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They just wait. They're anticipating just the story, what's coming up next. Where's the
Yeah, I feel
story?
like it's easier for me to do a story than it is to do jokes. I used to be a one-liner comic when I started, and I
That's
don't know how
tough.
even people remember all that. They're doing 117 jokes. Like if you watch some of these guys' specials, if you try to count their jokes, they're probably doing like I just seen something I was bored. Rodney Dangerfield did I think 30 jokes in a 5-minute set once. It's like
Yeah.
how do you even remember 30 jokes like that?
Rodney was probably like the one-liner king, one of them. He was just so great at those, and like you said, to rattle them off, bang, bang, bang. Like he did that one when he was on Johnny Carson. He he killed it. He must have did about 30 or so, just quick, boom, boom, boom. Then he goes on the couch with Johnny
Yeah.
and does even more. Just like it's like holy shit.
Yeah, dude. Now that would be the way to do it. That's the professionalism. He gave some advice to Norm MacDonald. I was opening up for Norm MacDonald, and I was trying some new shit, which was messed up of me to do. Caroline's New York Comedy Festival weekend, every show sold out, packed to the brim. I mean,
Wow.
chairs up to the stage, you can't move. And I get off stage and he goes, one time he goes, Rodney Dangerfield gave us all advice. We were all sitting at Dangerfield's and he goes, you know what the problem is with you young comics? You guys take too many liberties with the audience, and just too many chances. Like, people may think a lot of that stuff Norm MacDonald did, he just thought of. A lot of people think that. But he was a brain surgeon with his skit so much that he kept his set list taped to the stool. The host would have to bring a separate stool out just for him.
Oh wow.
And he kept every set list that he's ever done. And because he wants to know exactly, he worked out everything, every millimeter of his set was worked out like a scientist.
Yeah, because it's like almost like an album with that, like you want the set list to go in a certain order. So even like not with somebody like him, he has a process to the next one leads to the next one, even if they're one-liners.
Yeah.
It all kind of makes sense.
Yeah, the order of it, I feel like this is so true for me too, is like it takes time just to learn that. Like just having if you put one joke here and one joke here, it's gonna affect how it worked. It's like Andy, you gotta add fat to the jokes to make them work. If you could get them to a point to where they fit together like a puzzle and deliver a masterful set and you're out, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, man. Dude, you
Just
have all
cutting
the
the fat. Same with videos. Like that thing you were talking about, that show, where I played the turtle in Times Square and I
yeah.
played the Flash. If you watch that movie, you see every line I'm doing is a punchline.
Yeah.
And they cut all the fat out and just kept the funny.
Dude, Turtle in Times Square. It was a hilarious movie, man. I got to we showcased the movie at this film festival called Comic Sans, and at the same block of time, we watched Turtle in Times Square, and we kind of hit it off with Daniel Florio over there, who directed it. I think he wrote it and the whole thing.
Yeah, he's great.
He's a great dude. It really entrenched in the comedy scene over there in Manhattan and Queens, and we're Long Island guys, and so we hit it off with him. And one of the things I was like, I was like, man, you got Dominic Leonelli in as the Flash, dude. That was awesome. And he was like, yeah, man, we love Dom. He's a great dude.
Get right behind him.
fucking make a circle rose now. I'm fucking sick of waiting.
So shout out to those guys. But that movie, what's cool about it is it was kind of shot guerrilla style in
Yeah.
Times Square. What was that
Yeah.
like filming?
Dude, there was this scene where I'm beating them up. We're kicking them, we're beating them, we're banging them against the wall, and this neighbor comes out the window like, "Leave them alone." They thought it was real. Yeah,
That's
just
great.
shooting around the city and running in those scenes, like you're chasing somebody, you're running. It's like you see people looking. You don't really see the camera. These guys sometimes. We did very guerrilla style that one. I was going up to the other people, like those weren't even actors. The other people in characters suits, where I'm like, "Hey, you guys steal cars?" They're just looking at me like, "Dude, are you nuts?" They had no clue we're even doing it.
Yeah, that was great. So so for people who haven't seen it yet, the movie and come on out. We're showing it December 6th at Governor's. We're having a comedy short film night over there. Daniel will be there. Hopefully you can make it out there, Dom, and
Yeah.
it'll be awesome. And we're going to showcase a lot of films. But it was a good opportunity for people to see Turtle in Times Square. But if people don't know, Dom played like one of those guys in Times Square that you take pictures with. He was dressed as the Flash, and the whole kind of movie centers around this guy who wants to be a turtle in Times Square and take pictures and things. And I wonder, is it really like that? Are these guys like the Dirty Elmos or whatever? The guy dressed as Statue of Liberty. Are these people territorial? How's that work on there?
And I think the guys, it looks to me that they kind of work together. They're all hustling though, but what they do is the tough thing is if somebody sees somebody's taking a picture, because I live right by, I see it all the time. I see five other people running the picture and want to split their tip money. But from what I see, they all kind of work together. But who's territorial is a lot of the comedy ticket sellers. That was my first job in New York.
Barking
This
out
guy's
there.
like, if I see you out here, I'm gonna stab you. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to make a living. Like they watch the corner. It's like you're treating this too serious, bro.
Yeah, man, because sometimes it feels like with a lot of those, whether it's the guys in the costumes or the barkers or even the musicians on the streets, I feel like it's like really can be cutthroat and like
Yeah,
territorial.
hand to mouth. It's like they got to eat. You catch them on the wrong day.
What do you think is the difference in the culture of those guys versus stand up, like open mics?
Oh, I couldn't even imagine what the characters in Times Square.
Yeah, like do you think it's a similar culture? I feel like there's a camaraderie in amongst comedians that there might not be in street musicians or street performers. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know, to be honest with you. I don't. I doubt it's anything like stand. It's probably just. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know, to be honest with you. I see those guys out there, but the performers and shit. There's one guy that I think that would be a good stand-up, and he does magic and he does comedy every night in Times Square. I don't know if you've seen this guy. He gets a big crowd of people. He's good at it, and he's like an old school street dude. He's probably like 65, old New Yorker. You could tell, and he cleans up. He just does shows late at night. He comes out like when probably around midnight and stays out till like two or three.
Wait, let me see.
And I give him credit. There's an art to street performing. Like I see, some comedians can't do it. I think the thing is that's an art form in itself. Like the people that do the backflips, right?
Right.
The thing that's similar to that is knowing how to keep the attention of a crowd. Because when I was street performing, in the pandemic and before the pandemic, there's an art. You got to go up to a group of people. You got to grab them. It's like I have an empty cup. I'd get out the trash and use it as a fake mic. And I'd be like, hey, guys, give it up for my expensive sound equipment. And then you get them. You got almost some quick lines in there. I'm white. I'm one of the good ones. You got to kind of really try to get them. And then people might laugh. I don't know if he's a good one. I'm just joking, man. So my EBT card number is, or something. Just you got those street performers, they got to go hard.
Yeah,
See, stand
man.
up, even stand up, man. There's a camaraderie with cool comedians. Like I was just chilling with a cool comic last night, and it was refreshing to remember, damn, some of these guys are cool. We're just talking. And without wanting anything in return, he was happy to help me out. I got this show I got to do at I'm doing an Amish show coming up September 19th and 20th in Goshen, Indiana. But now I have fans. So now I have Amish people and my fans coming out. So I'm like, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He's like, bro, that's perfect. You gotta use that. That's your challenge for the night. So the show, make the whole show about that. You
Yeah.
know, I got Amish people and I got my fans, so it's gonna be tough. I gotta entertain both you guys. I'm like, bro, that's so genius. He goes, yeah, man, you got to talk to me more, bro. I told you. And then he's telling me about, hey, this is how I do the road. This is how it works for me. A lot of comics aren't like that. Like, we think there's camaraderie in comedy, but there really isn't until there's the successful ones are. Like, I was just gonna say this last point is about this is it took me you have to realize the first jobs you're ever gonna get are from comedians.
Right.
You know, the comics are going to be the ones that get you gigs and shows.
Right. That's true.
It's
And,
better to be
and
cool with them. It's not a competition.
exactly, man. And also, you never know who's gonna like it. Literally, you never know who's gonna blow up. So, like the guy who you think is the the newbie or the open mic level guy could be the one that blows up. And then
Yeah.
and now that you've kind of establishing yourself and you're blowing up on your own right, on all the avenues, whether it's the stand-up stage or the sketches, and you're breaking into movies and TV, are you seeing the respect level change for you when you enter a club from the other
From my
comics?
peers, but actually I see the opposite from older comics. But my peers are like, yeah, they're always like, yo, that video was fire, dude. What's up? Let me get in a video. They get it. But you see some of these older comics, they're like, oh yeah, see, I came up the old school way. You know, my friend got me in the club. And it's like, yeah, I came up the new school way. I had to get mega famous, and I still can't get in the fucking club because nobody's vouching for me. But now it's to a point to where if you go to a comedy club on a Tuesday, there's 20 people there. I could pull 20 people, no problem. So it's like also like once you get that level, you don't even care about doing a 7-minute spot in front of 20 people at like midnight. You're like, what's the point of doing that? I could do 200 people at 8 o'clock and
Right.
make that $1,500.
With old school and new school comedy, and the old school now were once the new school back then, and it was the same cycle where the older guys just don't get it, or they just can't keep up, or they just lose touch, or whatever happens. um you know I think that some of them don't understand like that, what it takes. They think that a guy who, and they might not even realize that you've been doing stand up prior to all of this, and they might just think that you're this influencer that's made it. In any case, this is the system of how it works now. It used to be, back in the day, putting flyers up or whatever you had to do
Yeah.
to break. This is the new method. What do you say to these old school guys to like let them understand? Listen, man, this is how it is.
Well, the cool thing is I used to always be upset about it before, but again, going back to this is all that some of these guys have is these spots in New York for $25. So they hold that so tight. And dude, I've had a booker tell me one time, he goes, listen, you know what your problem is? You're not aggressive enough. I'll be honest with you. He goes, you're a funny guy. But he goes, you're messaging me like, hey, if you got a spot, I'd love to take it. I got some openings. And then he goes, these other guys are messaging me saying, hey, listen, I can't feed my kids. I'm starving this month. I need a spot. Like, okay, I need one spot. I have to have it. I'm broke. I've known you for 20 years. Please don't leave me hanging. And it's like, man, if the comedians are struggling that bad to where it's like, this is all they got, then it doesn't matter. I mean, there's a changing of guards. It's like, it really is like, I don't know. I would love to play the other clubs. I wish I got in them. But now it's like, there's a reason why if on a Friday night or a Thursday night, if I could go do a theater and make in Jersey and make $3,000, which I can't now, but pretty sure in a year from now, I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to make $50 at a comedy club in New York. I wouldn't want to waste a night to do 7 minutes, you know?
Right.
There's nothing like having fan when you could sell tickets, it's a wrap.
Yeah, man. And you know, I think like obviously you're well on the way to do that. I think like, you know, and it's going to keep and I think the system the way it works is always going to it's endlessly changing. It's always like now with AI, who knows what the hell's coming up next. Like there's always going to be new ways to do it. And I always you know, I always try to catch the wave, but I always feel like I'm a little couple steps behind on a lot of the trends and things that are happening. But I think when you're doing sketches, I ask anybody who has any problems with that to try it because it's a lot of writing. It's hard. You got to produce it. You got to be funny. You got like there's so many variables that go into the sketch, and then is it going to catch?
Yeah, 100%. There's so much that goes into it. Yeah, you have to do that. You got to be funny. You got to do millions of them. I tell everybody, try to make every video. You're just going to get better and better every single one that you do.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, Dominic. I know you're a busy guy, um, and hopefully you can make it out here. That would be awesome. But on December 6th, tell everybody where they could find you and follow you.
Yeah, everything Dominic Leonelli. It's Instagram, Facebook, Dominic Leonelli. Those are my main ones. I'm up to about 200K on each platform. YouTube, Dominic Leonelli. My TikTok is Dom of NYC. I'm afraid to change it now because I just feel like people know that video. It gets searched a lot or whatever. But yeah, you're gonna have to try to find those platforms because I feel like that's the hard part now is like getting the creator getting recognition. Like if when you're talking AI, if somehow we could create something with AI to where, say you see a video of me, but it's not on my page, but AI knows it's me. It knows Dominic Leonelli. If something would just pop up right there, want to follow this creator, and it takes you right to my page.
That would be
Because I
cool.
come across my own videos where I'm getting tagged in the comments, but the video didn't tag me. Like I had a huge one on YouTube, something crazy like, and on the kid, I think it's Kid Cody KO, and he didn't tag me. He's got millions of subs. I was getting recognized every second, and I'm like, if only he would have tagged me, I'd probably have 1 million followers just from that, you know.
Damn.
So tag your creators.
Yes, indeed. And I will tag you in this as well. And everybody wants to follow him. His links and everything will be in the description below. Dominic Leonelli, everybody. Thanks, bro.
Thank you, man.